We begin with a weather impact alert with a chance for showers and windy conditions in the mountains and desert. Thanks for joining us 6 a.m. on this Tuesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Iramport. As we start this hour, let's check in on the forecast. Meteorologist Evan Arani here. And the mist was out there. How did you wipe the windshield a little bit?
Oh, smelled like
you're
rain.
Feeling it.
Things have changed significantly from the last couple weeks, for sure. Cooler temperatures, cloudier skies, that chance for showers in the mix. That includes, especially toward our mountains and deserts this morning, that those showers have already started popping up. Toward the afternoon, we will get breaks in the clouds that allows for some of the sun to peek through and for those temperatures to warm up, likely to the 70s out by our inland valleys, upper 60s along the coast. This is still a lot cooler of a stretch than what we saw for the last couple weeks, which I think is a welcome sight for many. But the wider picture here on satellite radar just shows you how unsettled things are out there. Cloud cover across the region, a good amount of green popping up there on the screen indicating some of those scattered showers in play, and that includes here in San Diego. So don't be too surprised if you do need the windshield wipers this morning. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the chance for stronger showers in the mix, the chance for stronger winds in the mix. It's all going to be part of the upcoming forecast. As always, you can find an extended weather forecast on the CBS 8 app. You can stream now for free. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic on our Tuesday. Hello.
Good morning. Yeah, as you head out the door, you may notice some drizzle, some light drizzle, heavy mist on the windshield. So just to keep an eye out for that. We're at steady speeds across the board. Nothing major to report at last check, thankfully. That was the 52 right where it intersects with the 125. Meanwhile, this is a 78 in both directions as you make your way to and from the Escondido area. And again, you can actually see that it is a little hazy out there and things are starting to pick up as you make your way westbound coming in from the 15 connector towards San Marcos. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on into your speeds. Right now, we're looking so far so good, anywhere between 65 to 70 miles per hour. So across the Coronado Bridge down to about 35 mile per hour speeds. And here's what it looks like coming in from the East County. About 5 minutes or so, we'll take a look at your Tuesday travel times. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Vanessa, thank you very much. And now overnight, the average U.S. price of a gallon of gas rose above $4 for the first time in more than 3 years.
Yeah, of course, here in San Diego, it's much higher than that, inching closer to $6 a gallon. News 8's Tori Apodaca live in Kearney Mesa, working for you to explain some money-saving tricks that do work and some that don't here, Tori.
Yeah, that's right. And many people are just frustrated every time they fill up their tank of gas. We haven't seen prices this high since August of 2022, the same year that Russia invaded Ukraine. Here at this Chevron, the average price right now is $6.29. But go ahead and take a look at this here in San Diego. The average price is $5.95, whereas just a month ago it was $4.69. So let's go through some of the money-saving tricks that may or may not be working the way that you think. The first myth: you should top off your gas tank after the pump shuts off. AAA says overfilling your gas tank can be dangerous. Overfilling saturates your vehicle's vapor recovery system, which can actually lead to permanent damage. And how about off-brand gas? Well, it isn't as bad as you may think. It's dependent on whether or not the station invests as much money into making sure that the gas is not contaminated. But experts say 99.9% of the gasoline stations are selling is going to run just fine in your vehicle. But what about filling up on Mondays or a certain day of the week?
On a day of the week is probably not going to cause you to pay a whole lot more or less. There are a lot more things that consumers can do to save themselves a lot more. Things like shopping around before you fill your tank.
Yeah, and some other good ways that you can save on gas are by checking your tire pressure, driving the speed limit on the highway, and also not accelerating or braking abruptly. Reporting in Kearney Mesa, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Okay, Tori, thank you for that advice. And if you do want help finding the least expensive gas, we're also working for you in this way. Text the word gas to the number on your screen, 858-571-8888. We'll send you a link to a map with the lowest prices near you.
Look, there's always a lot of excitement at the beginning of Padres baseball season. But yeah, this, not the way to celebrate. This is video shared with me by a witness who recorded this brawl Friday night while the Padres were playing the Detroit Tigers. At one point, those fighting even slammed into other fans in the stands. I spoke with the San Diego Police Department this afternoon, and they told me 2 people were arrested, cited, released, and ultimately expelled from the game. I also reached out to the Padres, who tell me they have a zero-tolerance policy for behavior that disrupts the game day experience. They went on to say that anyone who violates their policy will be subject to immediate removal from the ballpark, loss of future ticket privileges, and face potential criminal prosecution.
Okay, well, most TSA workers are expected to be paid by today. They started receiving paychecks yesterday, in fact, and this comes after President Trump signed an executive order. Yesterday, lines were moving at San Diego International. We checked on them throughout the morning. Passengers who showed up bracing for chaos found something different.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I actually feel like they're organized. My son and I are going to Boston, and we are very confident that everything's going to be fine today.
Glad to hear that. If you are flying this week, officials still recommend arriving early.
Well, today is the first ever Farm Workers Day in California. The holiday was changed from Cesar Chavez Day after allegations of sexual abuse against the late civil rights leader. Cities and schools across San Diego are now distancing themselves from his name. At Cal State San Marcos, a statue of Chavez was removed, and Southwestern College canceled its annual Cesar Chavez breakfast. Still, some hope the principles of his movement will remain.
Any movement is much larger than any particular leader, an icon, symbol, representative, and so on and so forth.
At Chicano Park, a mural dedicated to Cesar Chavez was unveiled in 2015, but someone has covered up his face. It's not clear what's going to happen to the mural. There are some closures for the holiday you need to know about. City and county offices are closed today. County libraries and animal shelters are also closed. City libraries, pools, and rec centers are closed. Trash will be collected as scheduled. Good news, parking meters, time restrictions for parking, yellow zones, and posted street sweeping routes in the city of San Diego will not be enforced.
All right, 6:07 now, and as some people may be off for today, spring breakers we know are in effect. They're in town for sure.
Keep it busy.
We kind of wish that they would be able to enjoy the sunshine, the warmer temperatures that we saw just a couple weeks ago. In fact, all the way through yesterday, we were breaking records on our afternoon highs all across our inland valleys. That trend will have come to an end by this afternoon. Today through Thursday, cooler temperatures, cloudier skies, a breeze picking up, especially toward our local mountains and deserts. And dare we say, even a few scattered showers. We haven't seen any rain in over a month. Take a look at how things are faring right now on satellite radar. We've already seen some of those showers pop up. We also have a wind advisory that's in effect toward our local mountains and deserts through Wednesday at 11 p.m. So today and tomorrow, our mountains and deserts are covered in that wind advisory, simply denoting that gusts could reach upwards of 50 miles per hour. In a spot like Julian, we shouldn't get that intense. We'll be around the 20 to 30 mile per hour range on our wind gusts. Sustained speeds right around 15 to 20 miles per hour. Today's forecast highs for Santee, El Cajon, 75 degrees, 71 in Coronado, closer to the water. That sea breeze is a bit stronger. We stick with the upper 60s, 68 in Encinitas, 71 in Carlsbad, 69 in Solana Beach, 73 in RB. And as you make your way out toward Escondido, also going for the low 70s this afternoon. The mountains are going to stick with the 60s, and the deserts making it to the mid 80s in Borrego Springs. Ocotillo Wells up to 90 degrees for this afternoon. It's a big change from what we saw just a couple weeks ago. This afternoon, we should be right on the nose as far as average goes, upper 60s or so. Yesterday, we got to 70 in downtown San Diego. And then remember, just about 2 weeks ago, we were in the mid 80s out by the coastline thanks to those offshore Santa Ana winds. Chances for rain stay steady from now through Thursday, but I will say the bulk of that is going to come in the overnight stretch tonight into tomorrow, for example. Not a lot of people are going to be awake or out and about to see it, but be prepared for more of that drizzle and light rain even through Wednesday and Thursday before all of our rain chances dip down to 0% by Easter weekend. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic on our Tuesday morning.
Yeah, good morning. And in other words, maybe you wait until until you wash the cars. All right, 6:09 is the time. We have made it to Taco Tuesday. We're still at steady speeds across the board. No major issues nor delays to report, thankfully. 8:05, this is what it looks like as you make your way in from the South Bay. In fact, the top of your screen, that's the northbound drive, and then this is the southbound drive as you head towards National City this morning. Meanwhile, here's what it looks like in both directions right at the 78. This is coming as you make your way towards Norridal in from the Escondido area, right near the 15 connector. Look out for, it looks like we have some sort of activity, a breakdown on the 805 North right at Bonita Road. This may slow things down a little bit, tad bit, coming in from Chula Vista as you make your way towards the 54 connector. Let's go ahead and pull up those travel times. We are all in the green. Green's always what we love to see, about 10 to 15 minutes right now as you travel in from San Ysidro. Shooting up to the 8 from the 54 via the 5 North will take you about 10 minutes or so, and under 5, full span of the Coronado Bridge in from Barrio Logan to Coronado. 3 to 7 minutes right now to get you westbound in from the East County on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And if you're traveling in from the North County headed south, anywhere between about 12 to nearly 15 minutes. 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you. We're tracking about an hour 40 to get you in from San Ysidro's port of entry. If you're traveling in from Otay Mesa, a little better, about an hour and 10 to get you across from that port of entry at last check.